Welcome to my humble abode. This is my wonderful room. It's kind of cool that I'm taking film classes, and the more I focus on like the little things I want to learn, which is lighting, camera angles, it kind of like I see it in real time. Like I got the blue hitting my face here, and you got the light here. Let me turn it down a little bit actually. Yeah, you can kind of see the difference and everything. Let me close my apps that I got open. There we go. We in the building, y'all. We in the building. We in the building. Um, Jared Cinco is the name if you don't already know. I was gonna go live yesterday before my hoop session, but I took that time to learn something new in one of the planets we have in our solar system, which is no. Yesterday I was learning about the Nagas, Nagas. And the crazy thing is, what made me even think about wanting to look them up, because black people, we call each other niggas, or if you actually darken anyway or glow in the sun, as far as like you get darker with the sun, we call each other niggas just off of it. No matter what culture, country you're from, naturally gonna kind of say it because it's cultural in the hip hop community and stuff like that. And it made me think about, if we call each other niggas, what is a Nagas? So I looked into that. Nagas, just from what I've watched, listened to. I'm not an expert in it, so relax. Nagas are a half humanoid or half serpent people. Other sources say they're reptilians that can shapeshift. Other sources say they are the oldest or consistent being across all forms of all cultures across the world. There is a serpent sculpture in every country. There's one in Ohio where the landmark, it looks like a dead ass snake in the land, which is crazy. Um, it's kind of funny. It was good, Shannon Ryder. The other thing I learned from yesterday, if I keep a little sketchbook, and I feel like if you're listening to this, keep a small like book lit with you, because it takes things out of your mind and you can actually read the stuff you've been kind of like looking at throughout the day, and it helps you reflect back for real, for real. I didn't write down everything that was from yesterday. However, today I read a lot, well, listened a lot about Venus and about the planet Venus. Did you know that Friday is a representation of the planet Venus providing energy to the earth? And it's also a heart chakra day. That's why a lot of people go out on Friday, have a great time, you know what I'm saying? Allows themselves to tap more into that loving frequency, whether they are with friends, or some people may take the Friday to watch movies at home with popcorn. That's just their way of, tapping into their heart, into their body specifically. And I watched a video about beings that lived on Venus. And one of the things I believe in, I ain't gonna lie, is that every planet at some point was habitable by something. They could have been humanoid, like me and you and I, or they could be they could just be a life force that can speak, talk, and have eyes, can breathe the air that the planet has and stuff like that. Sure, you can be a friend. Being a friend is pretty dope. And if you want to truly be a friend, you can like the video, share this with one or two people who you feel could actually listen into this conversation. Because we're going to talk about some things I would have done 5 years ago that would have made me rich today. So for those who's probably like if you're under 20 years old, this would be golden for you. If you're under 15, or if you're any age under 20, I feel like this is golden for you. If you're after 20, this is still golden. This is more like silver, because I feel like if you're over 20, you probably already doing something that you enjoy doing, and this is just going to help escalate what you already have going on. However, this is going to hit more for those who's under 20, because you're still in high school and you don't have that much pressure on your plate unless like you're, you know, playing basketball or football and you're trying to go to the league and stuff like that. And that league route or that overseas route is going to get you to the, you know what I'm saying, the financial security that you're looking for. However, in this video, we're doing something that pertains about things that help your financial self by connecting more to your spiritual self, because you can't do anything physical without being spiritual in the first place. And I feel good. Today I feel very calm, very relaxed. I feel forgiving to myself. I feel very, very fortunate to do what I do today. So yeah, I'm gonna read y'all like some of the things I wrote today for gems of the day, right? So first gem of the day: it takes a village to raise a child. This is also true when it comes to planets that has new races of beings being created. So when I was listening to the video talking about Venus and how it pertains to Earth, there's an article of some guy, I can't remember the name, I should have wrote it down, but there's an article that says that there were beings from Venus that came to Earth to help the Earthlings get to a higher level of awareness, of consciousness. And it made me think about this idea that there's more than just one group of people that came to this planet and provided some source of knowledge. It's more than just one. Thank you, Shannon, for liking and subscribing. Thank you. There's more than one race. Like, people have heard of the Anunnaki, you've heard of the reptilians. There's other beings called the Arcturians. You got the Pleiadians, you got Lyrans, you got it's a bird race. Anunnakis, they're shown with wings, but it's an actual race that's bird race. I can't think of their names. However, there's multiple races of beings. There's not just one. And because of these multiple races of beings, I feel like all has played a role in helping humans get to another level consciously. And it made me think of that term, it takes a village to raise a child, because like Mars could have helped, beings of Mars could have helped Earth in some way. Saturn, Jupiter could help or influence Earth in some way. And you know what I'm saying? All of these play a role. And I think about like the Milky Way galaxy as an entirety. Imagine the Milky Way is a being, like an actual human. Imagine the Milky Way galaxy is a person. That Milky Way galaxy, if it had a heart, Earth is the heart. If you change the H to Earth, you will actually get to spell heart. Like, put the H at the end and put it in the beginning, you got heart. That's the same thing for Earth. So I feel like Earth is the Milky Way galaxy's heart in some way. And we only see ourselves as the only intelligent source of the world, or science technically does. I feel like we are just a speck of what the universe is. And the more we start to acknowledge the other aspects of us that's otherworldly, that's very gifted, we get to experience really, really interesting stuff. So the second gem I wrote today is Earth is the Milky Way galaxy's heart, which I just said. The third thing is, I broke down the word galaxy. Galaxy. And gal and galaxy reminds me of gallon. And then xy is like ecstasy, or I would say energy. It makes me think about how many gallons of water is in our body. Because if galaxy sounds like gallons of ecstasy, how many gallons of energy builds a galaxy, and how many galaxies build a universe? And the best way we could possibly find that is through the human body, because the human body is a representation of the universe. So if like you take a whole gallon, let's look it up real quick. Actually, is this charged? I got my iPad right here. We're gonna look up real quick how many gallons of water is in a human being, and let's say we're gonna times it to infinity. How many gallons of water is in a human being? How many gallons Let's do it like this. How many gallons of water is in a human being? We have 10 to 11 gallons of water in a human being. And it shows men have the most water while women have second, children have actually, damn. Well, if you think about size and shit too, because it shows right here, right? I'm gonna talk about this photo right here. Um, an infant has 75% water in his body. Children have 65%. Women have 55%, and male have 60%. I feel like it's a little off. I feel like women have a lot more water in their body, especially with all the different emotions and shit that we having. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's different. So that was that, and I wrote another gem too. It was another one. Gods need us more than we need them. And this is very controversial. I actually got this from Q Reeves listening to his live, and it made sense because it's like gods are not bound by space or time. They're immortal. So if I was immortal, right, and I am not bound by space, I don't know how old I am. I don't know where originally, I don't know how much space can I really hold unless I have a full grasp of my power. And because everything outside of us is also within, God's included, angels included, demons included. Because of that, humans are like a great timestamp for gods and or goddesses when it comes to them remembering who they are while also understanding the power that they hold. And because they're within us, it's like we hold the power to lead them, guide them as they can lead and guide us. It's very interesting. It's very, very interesting. Um, and the thing is, humans help them keep track of themselves, while gods help us understand the expansive power of creation. So those are the gems I wrote for today. Um, if you're watching this right now, what is something new that you've learned in your life today? Because it is important to write out the things you've experienced, things you can learn, because it gives your body a chance to acknowledge the things that were within, and now that it's outside of you. Guess what? It gives you a chance to understand that there's more to life than what you previously thought was. So now we are finna get into. Hold up. Where's it again? I kind of like right there. So now in this part of the video, we 13 minutes, 13 seconds in. We're gonna talk about if I did this 5 years ago, I'd be rich today. So first off, what do I view rich as? Rich is not having to worry about any bill, any financial anything. You don't have to worry about it. Being rich is it doesn't have to be millions of dollars. Being rich can be making $80,000 to $120,000 a year, and your expenses is a quarter of that. With your expenses being a quarter of 100,000, you have 75% left of the money you can do with however you want. You can invest it, save it, shoot, plan trips with it, anything. You know what I'm saying? Because you've put yourself in position to where your expenses doesn't take more of the money that you have coming in, and it doesn't make you pour too much out. So, a little bit about finances, about rich and wealth before we dive deep into this conversation. Rich has to do with ensuring that your financial issues, problems, insecurities don't have them no more. Wealth has to do with an inner and external type of thing, to where it's like wealth is understanding you are never capped from being. Wealth is understanding you're never capped off from being explorative and being wealthy, and being like, to not use wealthy in a definition of wealthy, it's like you're not being capped off to being free to experience the expansiveness of life. And the expansiveness of life is basically traveling to do different things or meeting new people, collaborating, stuff like that. That is very important. You know what I'm saying? So wealth is generational. Rich is individual, to simply put it. Wealth is generational and rich is individual. Excuse me. And both are also a state of a mind. You know what I'm saying? You could be poor, average, rich, wealthy. These are four states of mind people go through. These are like four quadrants of, like, you know, like in math, you have a graph. You got the top right, top left, bottom right, bottom left. This is the four graphs. The two bottom graphs is poor, average, and then in between that little middle circle, you have the top left, which is rich, and the top right is wealthy. This nice four-part graph is a frequency bar. You sometimes jump from being poor whenever you think about, oh, this bill, I don't have enough to pay this. That's a mindset. You're taking yourself out of the ability to understand that if you can't get it now, that doesn't mean you're not available or not good enough to get it later on. It's just not available right now. Just be patient. And an average is basically not willing to go above and beyond. And literally above and beyond is that line, going above that line. And so average in a state of a mind, I feel like that has to do with feeling like buying things that cost a lot of money is a lot. And this is funny, I'm saying this and now I feel like I'm triggering myself. Because, bro, like a perfect example of average. You can either go to QT or, for those who in Florida, Wawa, and get you something small for $1.50, or you can go somewhere that has high quality of the same item, and you could buy that same thing but for $5 to $6 more, because you're getting a more beneficial factor of what it is, because it has probably better ingredients and it's probably going to last longer in the moment, even though it's the same thing. One could be a butter croissant, and the other can be a it could be a regular butter croissant, and the other one could be like an almond flour butter croissant. You know what I'm saying? One is like $3 more, and one is regular, where it has regular all-purpose flour and all that other shit. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I do like books. I actually have books. However, I haven't been reading them because I do a lot throughout the week. I'm busy a lot, and I keep myself busy because I know I have things that I want to put into life. And so in order to do so, I have to allow myself to be busy and eventually trade my muscles for time, which means trade my job to do something greater with my time. And it'll come when it's supposed to. I'm not going to rush it at all, because it's all about pace. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be in the same space that you're going to be in forever. Shout out Q Reese for that one. I needed to hear that today, not gonna lie. Do I have a girlfriend? No. What I do have is a complete companionship with myself. And it's funny too, and I'm gonna get back to this in a second. It's like, I know I'm a very handsome man. Like, I know I am. And sometimes I be in life, right? I'm a Scorpio too, so a lot of times my mind be, you feel me? I'm a Scorpio too, and sometimes I go and I see women look at me with this certain intenseness in their eyes, and I'd be like, I know I could get you, but I'm sorry, I can't. I need to be able to be self-sufficient. And this is one of the ways I be self-sufficient with videos like this, because it's allowing me to express the things that's been sitting inside of me, waiting to be let out into the world, so that more things can come into my life that allows me to expand how I think, expand how I can create, and connect with more people. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll actually listen to my videos earlier. No, 2 days ago, yesterday or 2 days ago. I listened to three of my most recent videos, and one of them I was tired as hell, but then I definitely was speaking some real shit. The other one, I feel like I was going so fast that I ain't even realize some of the things I was saying, yet it made sense because I'm listening to it and I know I said it at the time. However, listening to it again was like, oh, okay. I get it. Because I want you to know, elevate the convo is it's about evolving in the conversation. It's not about trying to give you facts on facts on facts. Sometimes it may be like that, where I'll take a topic that's happened in the world and I dive deep into it using ChatGPT and using my own ability to tap into my own intelligence systems, which I made a video on. You could tap into that by hitting my, going to my recent lives. I talked about the 6 different intelligence systems that you have in your body. And tomorrow I'm going to be having that conversation in a podcast, which is going to be very interesting and very fun. So, to continue, pacing yourself and taking your time can be your greatest weapon. And your biggest enemy is trying to speed up to catch everyone else or speed up to rush and get it out. I'm gonna give this example and I'm gonna get back into it. Not too long ago, an elder woman came up to me, was like, "You got a girlfriend?" I was like, "Nah." She's like, "Do you want one?" I'm like, yeah, I guess. Me knowing I already know what was happening. She trying to use me to get nasty. Now and shit, I haven't gotten nasty in a while, so shit, why not? I never had an older woman in my life, right? And the first time I went to go stay at her house for a day, well, a night, not a day. I like to smoke a lot before I have sex. And that's something I'm working on not doing, because it's like my body's relying on an external source to actually feel euphoria within the experience I'm having. I'm working on it. And in the experience, right? She's giving me head and stuff. And I'm feeling myself like, for women, y'all like squeeze y'all shit, right? To where y'all close the thing. Y'all close your vagina. Men, when we squeeze, our shit gets harder. And when we squeeze, we're actually speeding up the process of nut actually coming out. And the thing is, in that moment, I realized I'll be so in a rush to release instead of actually experience the moment, that it takes me away of the beauty of the present. So if you're listening to this right now, I know I just bounced around a little bit and talked about a sex story or whatever. I want you to know that take your time, don't rush it, and don't look at everybody else's experience and think that yours is going to go the same way, because everyone is literally different. Your time is going to come when it comes. Like I haven't been so confident in the things I've been doing in such a long time, because it took time for that confidence to build. It took a lot of I don't want to do that. It took a lot of deleting. It took a lot of starting over. It took a lot of like looking myself in the mirror and actually listening to myself even when I'm not in the mirror, and just observing my own progression. You know what I'm saying? And this goes into the first thing in this conversation after I, gave you my explanation of rich and wealthy, is if I did this first thing, I'd be well rich and wealthy in my life if I started to do this 5 years ago. Re-identify who I am. Shannon, I'm from Chicago, but I live in Georgia. 5 years ago, if I decided to re-identify who I am, what would happen is I step out of the Jared Cunningham, which is my actual name, and I step into the new being that I know can become what it is I'm looking for. Now, re-identifying yourself can take a long time, for sure. Like, I feel like I did do it 5 years ago. However, I wasn't consciously like, I'm gonna re-identify who I am today, moving forward. It wasn't that. It was me just trying to just live in the best way I can and not focus on survival, but also like just appreciate each day. It was like, imagine you playing GTA and you just waking up and you just doing shit. Like you're not doing no missions. You're not trying to rob stores. You just get in a car, driving. You may get in a helicopter and just fly around. Like you just doing random things just because you're bored. And the problem was I didn't have things to keep my energy busy to where I actually can make moments where I can learn, where I can experience, and where I can actually figure out where my energy is going to be amplified at the most. And re-identifying myself 5 years ago consciously on a day-to-day process, it would have put me in position to where my personality traits would match the wealth and rich mindset that I am in today. The past 2 years, I've taken more of a conscious route of re-identifying myself. And this is part of what identifying myself looks like. I got so many things on the wall. I got, what I'm saying, things I want to do for videos, music checklists. I got health boundaries, financial goals, financial boundaries. I got these all up here. These are foods like salmon, beef. Look, I can show you. This is all the energy, the aspect of the food. So like this is the chakra connection, energy type, symbolism, cosmic, archetype, spiritual application, and then risk. And these are the different foods. Like you got beef. I know the chakra connection to beef, to chicken, energy type to all of that. I got all the way from beef, chicken, catfish, salmon, pork, turkey, and ham. Having all of these is consciously putting myself in position where the things I consume, I can give it a certain level of purpose in how I identify myself moving forward after consuming it. And there's prayer, obviously, which puts myself in position to where I am consciously like, all right, I know what this is doing for my body and for my spirit. Let me add a certain affirmation, a certain feeling, a certain essence of myself within this food before I consume it, so that consciously I move forward with whatever that purpose was that I put in the food. You know what I'm saying? I got my old comforts, new comforts, things I need to get stronger, my abundancy roadmap, you know what I'm saying? My music checklist, my content, you know what I'm saying? I got stuff in front of me that allows me to tap into the fullness of who I am. That is that re-identifying myself. And the thing is, all of these things are already in my subconscious. I bring it out to my conscious reality so I can put myself in position to make small moments of not just adjustments, but small moments of confirmation during the day-to-day life. Because everything that's happened on this, that I have on this wall, it has presented itself in my reality. And I can give myself the moment of, oh, that's that. This can possibly connect to this. And that possibly because when I use my mind throughout the day to visualize and feel the future that I want to be part of and that I already am a part of by feeling it, it gives me different opportunities of where I can take it. And this leads me to the second thing. Re-identify who you are first. Second, nurture your ideas. Nurturing your ideas is like, imagine you was a kid and you got out of school and you wanted some ice cream. The moment you thought of ice cream, your body felt it. There was no disconnect. You was like, oh, I want some ice cream. I'm asking my if you can get some ice cream. That feeling nurtured the thought. Now it's all about, does the external reality match your thought and your feeling? And because you're younger, that depends on your mother or what she says. As you get older, the more you start to be an individual where you're doing things on your own, you're paying your own bills, you buying your own food, you clean your own body, you're taking care of your own schedule, is going to get to a point where your thoughts must be nurtured so that your reality matches what you desire. If you're here right now, please like the video. I have one like, I see two people in here. Just like, make it like it one more. You can do that. Anywho, let's continue. Nurturing your ideas. Women naturally have the nurturing capability. However, they don't know who they want to nurture. Men understand that we know who to take care of, but we don't know how to take care of them. You know what I'm saying? So here's where our dilemma is. I feel women don't know the type of thoughts that they need to generate. I'm not going to say all women. Let's say 72% of women, just throw a number out there, 72% of women don't know what ideas they need to generate to attach their feelings to where their reality matches that idea. 72% of men, we go through survival thoughts a lot based on how life is responding to us, because we're the war god. Like, A lot of men have been through war in their past lives or in their mind or in their dreams or in their younger years. We've been through a lot of fights. We had to fight to where we are today, whether it's just through consistency, whether it's through discipline or literally fighting. We had to do what we had to do to get where we are right now. And the biggest fight in our life is the mental. If we can take care of our mind, we can then take care of our life. And one of the best things you can do to take care of your mind is by nurturing the ideas that connects to your dreams, that connects to your goals. The best way I nurture my dreams and my ideas, my goals, is by asking myself one of these plethora of questions. I'll ask myself, if I had $20,000 today, how could I use this towards my dream? How can I invest into myself? I would think of a whole step-by-step process. Even if it's just $20,000, I could put that in ways to help me move forward. Excuse me. And then when you get easy at saying the 20,000, then get to 70, then get to 140. You know what I'm saying? Go higher, go higher, go higher. Because the better you get at understanding your steps that you want to take. My mom says a lot, like, your spirit walks the path for you before you walk it physically. And so with that understanding that I also believe myself, you have a responsibility as a person to generate ideas that connect to what you want it to be. Now, these ideas that you generate can either be conscious, meaning you actively think about it, or unconscious, where it just pops up. And then you choose if you want to go with it or not. A lot of people say, I don't know a lot. And that's not the wrong thing. The I don't know is okay. It's what you do after the I don't know. That's the problem. You have to ask yourself more questions, because when you ask yourself more questions, you're giving that little dude or woman at your computer, just like Inside Out, trying to figure out the answer that helps you find that knowing answer that disrupts the I don't know. Because you know everything that you need to know. It's just, it takes a moment of stillness to give you the knowing that you have. You know what I'm saying? And here's the last thing. Embrace the solo experience. One of the things I was listening to today was the unknown years of Jesus when he was 12 going all the way to 30 years old, where there's no record of him for 18 years of what he was doing. Well, I found a video where it's a German man who was in the Himalayas. He fell some type of way, broke his leg, and found a Buddhist temple, and they healed him, took care of him, and he was going through some of their texts that was there because he was there for so long from healing. And one of the things that was there was a story of a man that was out west, and this is in like the 1870s. There was a story of a man that was out west who had beautiful experiences where he learned from the yogis. He took his learnings to heal people. He walked on water, and people killed him for all the things that he's learned in his life. Sounds a lot like Jesus. And in his story, there's actually very much in-depth, step-by-step things that Jesus has done in his story that those in the Himalayas took note of and kept it in their secret text. So I downloaded or saved a 4.5 hour long video of the unknown story of Jesus. And the reason why I bring this up, because Jesus had a solo experience for 18 years. Solo. No one knew about it. A lot of people still don't to this day. I probably 85 to 99% of Christians probably know nothing about Jesus' unknown story. From 12 to 30 years old, a whole 18 years. I'm pretty sure a lot of them don't know about it. I bring this up because if people knew the whole story of Jesus, it's a high possibility that his story would be even more global than what it is today. And it wouldn't be Christianity. It wouldn't. He would probably have a whole different term for what his quote unquote belief system is that people can follow. Like Buddha had Buddhism, and I'm pretty sure he didn't even create that term for the belief system that he generated, or that he opened himself to the all that made him be who he is. It's just each religion is a different lifestyle. And I feel like the lifestyle of what Jesus was so captivating that they had to kill him at a certain period, because he was doing things that went against the code of law of religions at the current time. There was even points of his journey that I talked about in that 18 years gap where he was actually questioning all of these spiritual, religions and stuff like that. Like, he was questioning them because he felt like you shouldn't have to praise something else outside of you. You just have to praise yourself. And that's how my belief system works. I feel like you should praise yourself because, for one, it feels good to know that you love you. No cap. Feels good to love your damn self. What the fuck? And it feels good to accept your flaws, your blessings, and take every little win you can get and evolve from it. It's like a good ass checkpoint, like a video game. So embrace your solo experience. Like, your biggest demons, your hardest challenges, is not going to come when it's really in front of people. It's going to come when you're alone. Another example, I watched this anime called One Piece. It was a part of the story where each member of the Straw Hat Pirates were separate, and they all went through their own training arcs for 2 years. Sorry, was it 2 to 3 years? One of them. They went through their own training arc. And in their training arc, Zoro, he trained in the snow, no shirt, working out, swinging a sword. No shirt. Nada. Nothing. Fast forward 2.5 years later, and Zoro is sitting down with an open coat, swords next to him, and he's just sitting, chilling. Everyone else around him, they are fully coated up, zipped up. They look like the characters of South Park when it's in the when it's the winter time. They, you feel me? And they're like that because where they're at on the boat in a certain part of the ocean, the winds is crazy and it's snowing. It's bad. Everyone's face has that little redness right here because it's cold. Sanji, which is the cook of the ship, looked at Zoro, be like, "Are you not cold?" He was like, "Cold is only a state of the mind." Now, granted, we know that nigga was cold. However, he did not allow his present moment dictate all the work he put in the past be not important. You know what I'm saying? Everything you do today is going to show the importance of it years to come. You know what I'm saying? Rather, it's 1 month to 5-6 years from now. It's a range of it. Because think about it. He technically disappeared from the face of the earth, of what people's consciousness can tell them, I guess, at 12 years old, and came back to life at 30. If he came back at 30, this 18-year gap, he went through so many fails, lessons, blessings, wins, discussions, explorations, all of that. So many things we don't know. I'm going to eventually know, and I'm going to talk about it. And it's like, you got to embrace that. You got to embrace your solo experience. And the hardest thing for me, and this is me just being real, because I'm talking about this because this is the things I wish I was doing 5 years ago consciously, so that today I'd be, have my more moolah and I can invest into other people while myself and build a whole company around the things that I value today, which is being who you desire to be and enjoy it. First thing I said, re-identify who you are. Jesus did the same thing. Nurture your ideas. Jesus did the same thing. Embrace the solo experience. Jesus did the same thing. All of those three, it's like the triangle of you. I have something I need to write down, which is very important. and I'll get to that later. I had this idea that came to mind when I was taking a cold bath. For those who's a sports and anything, or you just on your feet all day, take a cold bath, then a hot shower. That's gonna feel good. And then when you get out, obviously you lubricate your body with whatever thing you use, shea butter, coconut oil, whatever, Vaseline. Stretch after. I didn't stretch today and my legs felt like very noodleish today. Very noodleish. We good though. So here's the next level of this conversation, because we have the 40-minute mark and I don't want to go past an hour. You have to, in your re-identification process, you have to ask yourself these 6 questions. Who do you want to become? What do you want to place into this world? When do you want it to happen? Where do you want to take your capabilities? Why should you share it? How can you do it? Now, these are just sample questions of the who, what, when, where, why, how. You can ask your own self, your own versions of this question. And these are very important. Like, people don't ask enough questions. People just start saying things without thinking about it a lot of times. And the biggest disconnect with each other as people, Black, white, Asian, Mexican, all across the world, male, female, lesbian, trans, it doesn't matter. We don't ask each other enough questions, and valuable questions, because questions is what open up the curiosity table and allows imagination to be placed there. And that imagination is now then used in ways that people can find a connection, because that's what's most important. You have to find ways to connect with one another by asking each other questions. One of the who, what, when, where, why, and how. You got to do that. You got to. Because what do you think we were doing as human beings when we had beings come from mountains or from the sky, come down, and they start giving us knowledge? We asking questions like, how does, why does, where did, what the, you know what I'm saying? We asking questions because we want to figure out why. We're not just sitting there like, man, shut up. Get out of here. We didn't do that. We asked questions because it broke down the norm of what we're usually seeing. You know what I'm saying? And if you could break down the norm of what you usually see by asking questions, ring-a-ding-ding, you just gave yourself the ability to move into the next step as a person, or the next step as a whoever the fuck you are. You just move up, god damn it. Moving up is better than going back down. For real. Like, what? Second part of this next level of the conversation, after you understand asking the questions that dwell in the who, what, when, where, why, and how, it's protect and project. So I don't know. I didn't read the Bible. I don't know how often or at all when Jesus talked about how he learned the things he learned, where he learned the things he learned, and how long it took him to learn the things he learned. I don't think that was said really in the Bible, because he was protecting the place that he came from, so that that place where he was is not destroyed, so that more people who's yearning for what Jesus yearned for can experience what he experienced in their own way. Instead, he just projected what he learned in a way that helps his environment, his culture, his family. Protect your goals. Project your truth. Protect your goals. Project your truth. Your origin story is a beautiful series that connects to your movie. Your projection is how, let's say, your projection is how broad your series can be and how impactful your movie can be. So, like, protect yourself. And then when you're ready, project yourself. And I ain't talking about, woo, no, nigga. I ain't even talking about women. Boo. No, I'm not doing that. I'm talking about your story, your journey, whether it's music, art, movies, TVs, photography, dance. All of these things add into that because creativity is what brings life into motion. Granted, men cannot give birth. However, we can create something that influences the next man to create something, and so on and so forth. All right? A lot of things are man-made, and granted, a lot of us don't like some of these man-made inventions. However, it has made life a little easier. A lot easier, actually. We have an oracle in our hand. We have everything we need in our hand every day. But we don't use it all the time because we're not taught to use it as such. And we haven't programmed ourselves enough to think for ourselves. Instead, we scroll a lot. Like earlier today, I forgive myself for this, which is why I'm talking about it. So before I got on this live, I got home 5:30, took a nap, woke up at 6:30, got up, showered. Before I showered, I was on the toilet. I wasn't shitting, at least for the night, the 10 minutes of the time I was on there. I was on the toilet for about an hour, just looking at videos. At first, it was like, oh, okay, this is cool. And then after that, I was like, you know what I'm saying? And I can tell you one thing I learned during that whole time I was sitting on the toilet on my phone. I can tell you one thing, one simple thing I learned. It's better to own up to who you are than hide it from a lot of people. It's better to own up to who you are instead of hide it in front of people. Because if you own it, someone could talk shit about it and it won't hurt you as much. And you can even be exposed to the world and it still won't hit as much because you already own up to it as a person because it's your own fault. It's your own stuff. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's one thing I learned in that hour of just on my goddamn phone. You know what I'm saying? I don't usually do it though. I will say that because on my apps I have a 30-minute marker period per day where I'm on my phone for such a long time, and when it hits that 30 minutes, it cuts off. I have to literally push options, no more for today, and then I can scroll on it. I didn't do that today. So I guess that was like my 30 minutes or something. So the last thing to this, which is a next layer of embrace the solo experience, is listen to your soul. Listen to your soul. Earlier in this video, I said, if the galaxy was a human body, Earth would be its heart. The sun is its soul because the sun provides life to all aspects of the galaxy. What if I told you you could talk to the sun? What if I told you the sun talks to you? What if I told you the sun rays don't just open up the possibility of life, it communicates life through waves? Does that make sense? It communicates life through waves. And because of this communication, what it does is, excuse me, this communication gives you the chance to experience life in your own wavelength. So when I say listen to the soul, listen to the light that you have within you. Shut the fuck up sometimes and just listen. Because here's the thing, I'm not gonna lie. We listen to too many podcasts, too much music, too much anime. We listen to so much things, but we don't take time to really listen to ourselves. And my thing is like, sometimes I feel like I listen to myself so much that I don't have people I can talk to about the things I talk to myself about. It's crazy. However, the relationship you have with yourself, it'll blossom into like the greatest relationship you could have with people by simply trusting the process. Like one of my good friends in Florida, he reminded me that like, you have everything, bro. Just continue to do what you're doing because life is gonna change. You just gotta trust the process. And don't get too comfortable in whatever you're doing. Cause it's like, for me, I can make any uncomfortable situation comfortable in some way by simply breathing, by simply changing how I think about it, and knowing that the moment is teaching me something. And with my job at FedEx, it's definitely teaching me. At first, I thought it was teaching me like patience, timing, memory. No, my nigga, it's teaching me to withstand things we don't like to do, so that we can get what we need. Cause I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting paid a weekly basis. Oh God, that should be money on. Oh God, so that should be money on. However, it's I'm getting more and more to the point where like I want to get paid to be creative. I want to get paid to create. I don't want to get paid to deliver, even though songs technically you deliver. However, I want to get paid to create. I want to get paid to showcase what I can do with a tool, which is either my voice, tool with my eyes, tool with my hands on a laptop, phone, iPad. I want to get paid to create, because the best like feeling to me is when you can create something and other people see your creation and see value in it, that they will like, you know what? Here you go. Like, you know what I'm saying? I would love that more than beep. Can you sign this for me? What's your name again? Jackson? Gotcha. Like, nigga, no. I don't want to do that no more. However, I'm going to hold it down. I'm going to stay strong, because this resiliency is going to be important in the future. Like I was saying earlier with that Jesus example and that Zoro example, like it's going to be points where I'm not going to like what the fuck I'm doing. However, I'm staying disciplined and consistent in it, because in the future, a problem, occurrence, something may happen where I'm going to have to utilize what I'm building right now in the future. So I figure, why not help my future self instead of, you know what I'm saying, make it hard for them. And this is why I feel like 5 years from now, I'll be rich and wealthy. You feel me? I feel like 5 years from now, I'll be rich and wealthy, because if I had this information 5 years ago, wealth and riches would not be something that's new to me. You know what I'm saying? So if you're listening to this right now, thank you for one. Two, subscribe. It's free. I would definitely enjoy doing these a lot more often. And I would love to collaborate with more people. My two great friends, Dre and Jair, they are one of the great left and like, if I'm Luffy, Dre is like my Zoro, Sanji is like my Jair. Um, I feel like those two guys help me handle the tower of Jared Cinco whenever Jared Cinco feels a little bit off. And then my homie Jaja, who y'all will see in the future. He's a wonderful asset to my journey as well. And my family is as well. It's just those three guys, they're like my oracles outside of my own physical body, because they're striving for something similar to me, which is not only peace, wealth, and also changing the environment that we live in to become better men at the end of the day. And I know my future children will be definitely happy to have me, you know what I'm saying, as their father, men or women, regardless of what gender they may be. So, yeah, that is the end of this video. Took my time talking today, and I feel like this is the pace I need to really go more often. Check out my last lives. All of them are very, very thought-provoking, where it's like you could listen and you could high-key like pause in between, be like, damn, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Hold up. Okay, that makes sense. Like you could definitely do that with some of my videos. And check out my other channels. I do a reaction channel where I do basketball videos, which is what's on this dry erase board that I showed you earlier. Pretty soon I might have some live basketball videos coming soon, where you see me hooping, getting buckets on people. Vlog is gonna be coming soon, and yeah, man. If you're here right now, you can be wealth and rich too, by re-identifying who you are, nurturing your ideas, embracing your soul experience. And as you're doing that, ask more questions. Allow these questions to dive into the who, what, when, where, why, and how concepts. Project your goals into life, project who you truly are into life, and protect your goals and protect who you are in life. And listen to your soul. Listen to your soul, because your soul is your beacon. Your soul is your light at the end of your tunnel. So if you get used to how your light blossoms, get used to how your soul expresses itself, watch how you and your soul, how you identify yourself, and your soul that is connected to that identification, you're going to blossom very beautifully. Very, very beautifully. So thank you for watching. Have a good day. Yeah.